I don't really know how to answer that question. And I'm not saying that to be difficult or stubborn, but it's not simple. So I can't just point at something and say, okay, that's love. I recognize it easily.
Going on, folks? We got a touchy one. This has about 9 different parts to it. So what I would like to do is on either the coming week or the coming weekend, I would like to go into this from part 1 all the way to part 9 or part 10. I believe there's about 10 parts to this, because what we have here is someone who has committed one of the ultimate sins and the ultimate crimes, and he is sitting down with a notable interviewer who is known all over social media, all over the world, for being blunt, being extremely articulated and vocal in the way that he interviews and tries to get inside of the mind of the people that he speaks to, from celebrities on down. This one caught me off guard when I came across it, and I want to get into this a little bit more in depth. This won't give me that time to do it. I just want to give you a quick preview of what is to come. Granted, I'm able to play these the way that I would like to. We're going to find out very soon, but I'm going to play this part. This is only one portion of this entire interview. This young man at the time was 13, and he unalived his little sister. Um, if I'm not mistaken, he is eligible to get out of prison very soon if he hasn't already. I'm not really sure how old this video is, but I wanted to tap into this one specifically because we have sometimes this inability to understand just how the mind works and how people think. And so I wanted to play this one and get your thoughts on it. I will break down some of my views and opinions on this, but yeah, let's get into the video.
Easily, and I feel that.
To me, this question is a no-brainer. This hurts. That there is at least one thing he should be able to point at and say, that's love. And that's the fact that I'm still here and have supported him throughout this process. Because my feelings for him are very complex, but I can very easily say that's love.
As they say, it's like asking a colorblind person to describe the color red. They can't do it. He can't describe love because he can't feel it.
He doesn't feel anything.
Lack of empathy for their victims is a classic psychopathic trait. Paris was able to coldly murder his sister just to punish his mother?
Why did you?
So the man and the woman giving commentary, they're former FBI, and you'll see in the coming footage, if I'm able to do a reaction to this entirety, they are basically in another room while Mr. Brosman, or is it Morgan? It's one, I forgot that man's name. I don't keep up with him like that. I know his first name is Pierce. He's the one that's interviewing the guy. They're basically giving their commentary on his inability to emote or show emotions towards the crime that he committed. A lot of the questions that were being presented and moving forward were, in my opinion, to pick to see if there's any redeemable qualities in him. Is he someone that we could see back on the streets with pedestrians? And has he been in prison long enough? Has rehabilitation served him justice behind those walls? So they're pretty much analyzing him while he's been interviewed. And then on the other side, you have the guy just being interviewed, giving his take or his responses to the questions. Some in this instance is trying to say that there's no form of empathy there. He's blank and he could care less, pretty much. There's no remorse as far as they're concerned.
Have such anger towards your mother?
I spent a lot of time feeling alone as a child, a lot of time feeling left out, not only left out not only by my peers, but also by my own family.
See, every time he says, because I've heard him say that before, that he felt alone or left out, I am always amazed. Like, where did that feeling come from? Because for the longest time, he was my only child. Life revolved around Paris. He was very loved by everybody. I was very present as a mother. How could he have felt that way? Because I remember his childhood completely different.
But you were done specifically in the end
Yes.
to cause your mother maximum pain. This has achieved your goal, which was to effectively mean your mother lost both her children at once, one to death, one to incarceration. When you saw her completely grief-stricken and in utter torment, that is what you were hoping to achieve by your actions. So I'm just curious whether the reality of what you hope to achieve lived up to your expectation or hope.
No. At no point did I ever feel like I had accomplished something or that I had achieved a goal. And one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to talk about how I felt at that time is because I'm completely estranged from who I was then. And I just, now I can't comprehend how that killing my sister would solve my problems. It's like we're here talking about a completely different person. It's like you're asking me to try to climb inside someone else's head and peer through his eyes and catalog his thoughts. And I realize we're talking about myself, but it doesn't feel like we are.
Is he the purest personification of a psychopath?
He evidences many of the traits of really strong psychopaths. If you can kill your little sister in a really horrific way, then literally anybody can be your target.
And it would be a mistake.
That's just part 5. That's just part 5. There's still so much more to unpack there. And, you know, for me, listening to that last part where he says he can't put himself back in himself, in my honest opinion, I think that's bullshit. You can't escape your past. You can't change or rewrite something that happened. You were present. You felt and experienced everything you did because at that particular time, that's what you wanted to feel and experience. There's absolutely no way that you could not relive that. And I'm not a doctor or PhD, but I can guarantee with all insurance in the world that if I had ever done anything in a way that it caused such a huge ripple effect like this, there's no way that I could ever forget that. As much as I'd like to bury it. This has 9 to 10 parts to it. And I want to see if I'm going to be able to do this without there being any restrictions. If there is, I will go in depth further with this. Which y'all let me know what you think about this particular video itself. The way that a psychopath works, then we did a stream once before. It is unlike anything that a person could ever come across. You really have to be a person that utilizes discernment. I really, really want to get into this a little more deeper than this. And if I'm granted permission to do it, I'm going to bring some people on for this one. But we'll see what happens. Like, share, subscribe to the channel.